Last weekend, I was supposed to meet hundreds of you for a live in-person meeting of the Velshi Banned Book Club at the first ever MSNBC live event. It was going to be the first time we were going to do this in front of people. Unfortunately, I got the COVID again, and I was not able to join my friends and my colleagues in Brooklyn. I will make it up to you, I promise. I know so many of you came to hear the Velshi Banned Book Club. But now that I'm back and feeling better than ever, I thought I would resurrect the conversation that I planned to have with one of my favorite Velshi Banned Book Club authors, Laurie Halse Anderson. Now, you'll remember Laurie for her award-winning book, Speak. It's a poignant and unflinching exploration of the immediate aftermath of rape and the emotional repercussions from it. It grapples with isolation, appearance versus reality, the power of kindness, the realities of healing, and what it means to reclaim your voice, your power. Now, despite its accolades and its masterful and gentle handling of such a brutal topic, Speak has frequently been targeted for ban or removal since its initial publication in 1999. Once, in 2010, an associate professor at Missouri State University surmised in an op-ed entitled "Filthy Books Demeaning to Republic Education," end quote, that Speak should be, quote, classified as soft pornography, end quote. That's just one of many examples. Speak has become more than just a beloved young adult novel. It's now representative of the book banning epidemic in this country. It's one of those books that's been made an example of, quoted out of context at school board meetings, included in sweeping lists, removed from shelves again and again. Laurie Halse Anderson has become more than just a beloved young adult author. She's resisting, she's fighting back, and she's working to preserve the freedom to read and write in this country every day. Book banning and censorship is no longer just an issue in our classrooms and our libraries. It is an election issue, it is a voting issue, and it is a question of liberty. Right out. Today's meeting of the Velshi Banned Book Club is officially underway. A little different than we normally do it. I'm joined now by a veteran member, Laurie Halse Anderson, the author of numerous award-winning books, including Chains, Shout, and the former Velshi Banned Book Club feature, Speak. Laurie, my apologies to you. I know you were set and ready to go last Saturday, and we had to cancel at the last minute after I had put that thing in my nose and got some bad news. But I'm glad we were able to do this again today, because you are, as I said, more than an author of important books, but you've really become one of the faces of the discussion about why it's important that these books exist out there. And so let's start with that. You've talked to us before about your book, Speak, which explores finding your voice and healing after rape. You wrote a companion to it called Shout, which is a memoir which chronicles your real experience with sexual assault. Talk to me a little about why access to books like yours are important.
I appreciate that, and I'm glad you're feeling better, Allie. COVID is no fun for anyone. We have come to such a bizarre place in our nation where any conversation about human sexuality, whether that's a nonfiction book for 11-year-olds about the changes in their body that goes through in puberty, or my book, a fictional account about the aftermath of sexual violence, somehow these have become off limits. The sad fact is, so many of our fellow citizens have been victims of sexual violence. And we know, because people have done the research, if we don't talk to our kids in a healthy and appropriate way about sexuality, they grow up learning from violent pornography or not learning at all. That makes them vulnerable. That's why we have books. Stories help us understand the world. And for parents who are worried about, how do I talk to my kids about these things? Stories are there to help you. Books are there to help you. Instead, the extremists on the right wing are trying to push dangerous ignorance on all of us.
Right. So the one category into which all of these things fall, including talking about changes to your body or sexual assault or pornography, is they all fall under taboo. And so we've just decided that we're not touching taboo, or your children should not be exposed to it. How do you have that conversation with people that rape is not pornography? Sexual assault, when it happens to you, is not pornography. Talking about changes to your body, your sexuality, your gender identity, that's not pornography. It's not filth. It's not obscene. It's stuff that actually happens to people. And we have to separate that from violent pornography in the way we think about these things.
Absolutely. I think and I do know that there's a large group of Americans out there who, if they hear, oh my gosh, there's pornography in the schools, they get upset. If I thought there was actual pornography in the schools, violent and not what children should be seeing, I'd be fighting against that too. But these folks are being manipulated. They're being manipulated because people know that if you can make someone afraid, you can get their vote and you can get them to donate to your campaigns. So instead of having rational conversations within communities where some families might not want their kid to be reading about sexual violence or racism, I can disagree with them, but they have to choose for their children. That's what we used to do. We would let every family choose for themselves. Now, this small group of extremists want to come in and decide for everyone's children. And that's when we get down to it being a First Amendment issue. And that's why I'm participating in the lawsuits in Florida and in Iowa, because I guess we can't talk about this in communities anymore, so we have to go to the court.
The Florida lawsuit includes you and 5 other prominent authors, 4 of whom have been featured on the Velshi Banned Book Club, 6 publishers, 2 students, 2 parents against Florida state education officials to protect the freedom to read and to write. That's kind of remarkable. That collective action, is this, in addition to voting and getting out there and registering to vote, if this is your only issue that you go out and vote for, are these court actions a good way to sort of get those book banners to answer for their actions?
Sadly, it's the only way. Well, that's not true. On a broad scale, that's the only way. We are seeing in America, school district by school district, including in Pennsylvania where I live, school board members who kind of snuck onto a school board by not being honest with their constituents that they support the extremist right-wing vision of America that you see in the book 2025. And we've seen those school board members have been found out, and people have voted, and they have voted them out of office. Yep. So that's what you can do in your community, is to make sure you're paying attention to your school board races. When it comes to state legislation, however, we are trying to talk to all the different state politicians, but the lawsuits are one of the tools that we need.
Laurie, thank you so much for being with us. Thanks for being prepared to be with us last week. We'll make it up to you and to all our Velshi Banned Book Club members who want to see us in person. That is the veteran Velshi Banned Book Club member, Laurie Halse Anderson, author of numerous books, including the award-winning Speak.